The morning light filtered through the glass dome of Central Academy, an elite interstellar school located on a floating platform above the planet Krylor. The academy was buzzing with anticipation and curiosity as students of various alien species walked through its vast corridors, discussing the imminent arrival of a new species, one that had recently joined the United Galactic Federation. Humans. An unexpected arrival, at exactly 0800 hours as per the Earth Standard Time newly adopted by the Academy. A human boy named Jack stepped into classroom 7B. His appearance was understated, yet his walk was confident, almost defiant. The classroom, filled with students whose features ranged from the bioluminescent scales of the aquarii to the sleek metallic skin of the psyloids, fell into a stunned silence. Human stories were notorious across galaxies for their audacious acts, tales of their wars, their peace, their exploration, and now their integration into the wider cosmic community. First impressions. Jack's eyes scanned the room filled with wide-eyed, tentacled, and winged beings. His gaze was fearless, and he chose a seat at the center of the room, setting down his old, worn-out backpack with a thud that seemed to echo in the silent room. "Good morning, class," said the teacher, Mr. Vorn, a tall and thin Zilfide with translucent skin revealing a faintly glowing skeleton. "Today we welcome Jack from Earth. Let's give him the traditional Krylorian welcome." A murmur rose among the students, a mix of whispers and telepathic murmurs, creating a symphony of curiosity. Jack just smiled, his demeanor relaxed as if he was in his element amidst the galaxy's most exotic creatures. The Raritas Mr. Vorn began the day's lesson on quantum entanglement across intergalactic distances. A notorious bully, a Gremlock named Traz, decided to test the human's mettle. Gremlocks were known for their immense strength and somewhat short temper. During the break, Traz approached Jack with a menacing look. His forearms crossed, each one larger than Jack's entire body. "So human, I heard your kind is daring," Traz growled, his voice a mix of curiosity and challenge. "Prove it. I dare you to enter the forbidden section of the library. No one has ever gone in and come out the same, they say." The forbidden section was spoken of in hushed tones, even among the bravest students. It was said to be guarded by ancient algorithms and traps, protecting secrets too powerful for most to handle. Jack's classmates watched, holding their breaths. The human looked up at Traz, a sly grin spreading across his face. "You're on," Jack replied calmly, standing up. His answer was simple, but it sent ripples of shock and excitement throughout the classroom. The gathering word of the dare spread like wildfire. By the time the last class of the day ended, a crowd had gathered at the entrance of the library. Jack walked towards the towering doors of the forbidden section, his steps steady, his earthling heart beating with a cocktail of thrill and calm. As he placed his hand on the ancient door, a series of lights began to blink, and the door creaked open, inviting him into the darkness beyond. Jack stepped forward, the door closing behind him with a thud that seemed to seal his fate. To be continued. As the door locked behind him, the crowd outside burst into a mixture of cheers and gasps. What lay beyond those doors? What would the human find? And most importantly, would Jack live up to his species' reputation for being daring? Or was he simply another reckless youth, underestimated by the vast and ancient universe? The answer would have to wait, as the lights of the forbidden section flickered, hinting at the adventures to come. As the heavy door shut behind Jack, he was enveloped in darkness. The only sound was his own breathing and the distant hum of the ancient library's life support systems. Jack's fingers found a switch on the wall, and with a flick, dim lights flickered to life, revealing a corridor lined with shelves that towered into the shadows. The books here were not ordinary. They pulsed with a soft glow, their spines etched in languages long forgotten by the civilized worlds. Jack felt a thrill run through him. He wasn't just in a library. He was standing amidst the forbidden knowledge of 1,000 worlds. The challenge begins. Jack ventured deeper, his footsteps echoing. As he passed, the shelves seemed to whisper, pages rustling softly as if reacting to his presence. He stopped before a shelf that seemed to vibrate slightly, its books radiating a faint blue light. Without fully understanding why, Jack reached out and pulled a tome from the shelf. The book was heavy, its cover cool and smooth, etched with glyphs that shimmered under his touch. The moment Jack opened the book, the air around him stirred, and the words on the pages rearranged themselves into English. "The Art of Cosmic Manipulation," read the title. Jack's eyes widened as he flipped through pages describing the bending of space, the manipulation of time, and the harnessing of dark energy. These were secrets that could alter civilizations, change the balance of power in the galaxy. An unexpected guardian. As Jack delved deeper into the tome, the temperature in the room dropped. His breath became visible, forming little puffs of steam in the cold air. A shadow moved at the corner of his vision. Turning sharply, Jack saw nothing but the endless rows of books. But the sensation of being watched grew stronger. Then, from the shadows, a figure materialized. It was neither solid nor entirely ethereal, its form flickering like static on an old visual display. "You are far from where you belong, human," it said, its voice echoing like wind through a cavern. Jack stood his ground. "I was dared to come here," he replied, his voice steady despite the adrenaline surging through him. The figure seemed to consider him for a moment. "Dares are foolish things that bring fools to places they regret," it said. "But since you are here, you must face a trial. If you succeed, you leave with the knowledge you seek. Fail, and you may not leave at all." The trial. The figure waved its hand, and the room transformed. The shelves and books vanished, replaced by a vast expanse of starry void. Jack found himself standing on a small platform floating in the cosmos. "Balance the energies of these stars," the Guardian commanded, pointing to 3 glowing orbs circling the platform. "Harmonize their orbits, and you may return." Jack focused, recalling the techniques from the book. He extended his hands, feeling the energy coursing through the stars. It was a delicate dance of push and pull, a balance of forces he barely understood. Slowly, the chaotic movements of the orbs began to synchronize, their paths intertwining in a dance of light and gravity. As the last star clicked into place, the vision dissolved, and the library reappeared around him. The Guardian nodded, its form beginning to fade. "You have done well, human. The knowledge is yours to keep, but remember the weight it carries." Chat return. With the book under his arm, Jack walked back to the library's entrance, where his classmates awaited. The door swung open, and he stepped out into the light, his face unreadable. Whispers ran through. Back in classroom 7B, the mood had shifted. The students, once merely curious about the human, now regarded Jack with a mixture of awe and apprehension. Mr. Vorn, sensing the change, decided it was time to address the elephant in the room, or in this case the human with a potentially universe-altering book. "Class," Mr. Vorn began, his voice even but firm, "what Jack has done today will require understanding and responsibility from all of us. This knowledge isn't just power. It's a monumental responsibility." Jack nodded, feeling the weight of the book in his hands heavier than before. He knew he couldn't keep this knowledge to himself, nor could he let it fall into the wrong hands. A coalition forms. After class, a small group of students approached Jack, led by a thoughtful equerry named Scylla, who was known for her wisdom and calm demeanor. They offered their help and protection. "Jack, the knowledge in that book could change or destroy worlds. We must ensure it's used wisely," Scylla said, her bioluminescent scales glowing softly with concern. Jack agreed, and together with Scylla, Traz, who seemed repentant of his earlier challenge, and 2 other students, a Psiloid named Kren and a Zilphid named Flix, they formed a secret coalition. Their goal was simple yet daunting: study the book's contents and devise ways to safeguard its knowledge. Hidden lessons. Over the next several weeks, the group met regularly in secluded parts of the academy, poring over the book's contents. Jack learned to trust his new allies as they delved deeper into the complex theories and formulas. Kren, with his innate understanding of mechanical systems, helped interpret the more technical aspects of cosmic manipulation. Flix, being a Zilphid, offered insights into the ethereal and metaphysical implications. One evening, As they discussed a chapter on temporal folds, Scylla paused and looked up from the text. "Do you realize," she said slowly, "that we're not just learning about cosmic forces, but also about how interconnected the universe is? Every action we take can ripple across galaxies." Her words resonated with the group, reinforcing the gravity of their task. They weren't just students anymore. They were custodians of knowledge that could either bind or fracture the very fabric of the universe. A test of resolve. Their studies were interrupted one night when an alarm sounded throughout the academy. The group rushed to the main hall, only to find that a band of rogue traitors had breached the academy's defenses. They were after the book. The coalition sprang into action. Traz and Kren handled the physical defense, blocking the intruders' access to the library. Scylla and Flix used their skills to confuse and misdirect, creating illusions that disoriented the attackers. Jack, meanwhile, focused on safeguarding the book, using a technique they had learned to conceal it in plain sight. The confrontation was brief but intense. With their combined efforts, the coalition managed to repel the intruders, who fled into the cold expanse of space, empty-handed. Solidarity in the stars. In the aftermath, the Academy's administration boosted security and initiated an investigation. The event had proven that the dangers were real and that the knowledge they held was coveted by forces who wished to exploit it. As they regrouped, the coalition felt a renewed sense of purpose. They weren't just a group of students from different corners of the galaxy anymore. They were a unified front, bound by a common goal to protect and preserve the integrity of the cosmos. Their journey of discovery had transformed into a mission of guardianship, where each member, the coalition's nightly meetings became a crucible for their growing bond and deepening understanding of the cosmic forces described in the ancient tome. Jack often found himself marveling at how individuals from such disparate origins could unite under a common cause. However, the incident with the rogue traders was only the first ripple in what would soon become a wave. Discovery of a hidden archive. One evening, as the group delved deeper into a particularly complex section about gravitational anomalies, Kren stumbled upon a hidden mechanism within the book's spine. With a careful adjustment, a secondary compartment opened, revealing a series of thin, crystal-like tablets. These tablets contained additional information, annotations left by previous scholars who had dared to explore the book's teachings. "This could change everything," Flix whispered, awe evident in his voice as he translated the ancient glyphs. "These annotations are warnings and guidelines from those who previously wielded this knowledge." The group pored over the new findings, realizing that the book was not just a repository of knowledge, but also a legacy of its previous guardians, each adding their insights and cautions. An ominous warning. As they examined the annotations, one message stood out, written in a hurried scrawl. "Beware the Harbinger's return." None of them could decipher who or what the Harbinger was, but the tone of the warning was unmistakable. Determined to understand this new threat, the coalition expanded their research, digging into historical records and consulting with the Academy's oldest archives. Their investigation led them to ancient tales of a destructive entity that had once roamed the galaxy, absorbing knowledge and leaving chaos in its wake. Preparation and protocols. Realizing the potential danger, the group formulated plans to protect not only the book, but also the Academy. They devised complex security protocols and set up hidden defenses around the library, preparing for a threat they hoped would never materialize. Meanwhile, Jack worked on mastering some of the more practical applications of the book's knowledge, focusing on defensive strategies that utilize temporal and spatial manipulation. His ability to adapt and integrate these concepts surprised even his mentors and allies. The calm before the storm. As weeks turned into months, the Academy returned to a semblance of normalcy, but the coalition remained on edge. They rotated guard shifts for the book and kept their preparations discreet to avoid alarming the other students and faculty. Then, during a routine data analysis session, Scylla detected an anomaly in the space-time fabric near the Academy, a signature similar to those described in the tales of the Harbinger. "The Harbinger may be more than just a myth," Scylla announced gravely to the group, "and it might be headed our way." Unity against the unknown. The realization that their theoretical studies might soon face a real-world test galvanized the coalition. They reviewed every line of the book, every annotation, ensuring they missed nothing that could aid them in the coming confrontation. As the anomaly grew closer, the Academy's administration was finally briefed on the situation. With the full support of the faculty and the most advanced technologies at their disposal, the coalition stood ready to defend their home and the knowledge they had sworn to protect. The final line of defense wasn't just their technology or powers, it was their unity. Each member knew that the strength of their bond, their ability to work together despite their differences, would be the key to overcoming the impending darkness. As they watched the stars, waiting for the harbinger, they knew they were no longer just students. They were guardians, scholars, and warriors, united by The anomaly grew, its presence now a shimmering tear in the night sky, visible from the Academy's observatories. Its approach was slow but relentless, an ominous specter inching closer each day. The coalition worked tirelessly, their every action now shadowed by the threat of the harbinger. Jack, once just a curious newcomer, had evolved into a leader, his innate human tenacity bolstering the group's resolve. Under his guidance, the coalition's defensive strategies became more refined, integrating the arcane sciences from the book with the Academy's cutting-edge technology. A silent alarm. Late one evening, as the anomaly loomed closer than ever, a silent alarm triggered in the depths of the library, a warning that an unauthorized entity was attempting to access the hidden knowledge. The group convened rapidly, each member slipping through the shadowed halls, converging on the library. There they found the air thick with a palpable tension, the books on the shelves vibrating softly as if in anticipation. The security measures they had installed were holding but barely. Something or someone was testing their defenses, probing for weaknesses with a methodical precision. The first encounter. Without warning, the temperature dropped, as a figure stepped through the shadows at the far end of the room. It was neither human nor any known species from the Academy. The figure was shrouded in a cloak of shifting darkness, its form nebulous and constantly changing, like a star obscured by passing clouds. "You guard your secrets well," the figure spoke, its voice a dissonant chorus, as if multiple beings spoke in unison. "But all knowledge seeks to be free. You cannot contain what must eventually spread throughout the cosmos." Scylla stepped forward, her voice steady. "We protect this knowledge not to imprison it, but to ensure it is used wisely. You will not find us easy to overcome." The standoff ensued, with the figure assessing them, its interest apparent. Jack sensed an opportunity and initiated a parley. "Why seek this knowledge?" he asked, genuinely curious about the motivations driving this being. "To prevent a cycle of destruction that you cannot yet comprehend," the figure responded cryptically. It then proposed a challenge, a duel of wits and wills. If the coalition could best it in a series of tests, it would leave peacefully. Failure, however, would result in the harbinger taking the book. With few options and the safety of the Academy at stake, the group agreed. The tests were arduous, ranging from complex logical puzzles that twisted reality to ethical quandaries that tested their moral fibers. Each member of the coalition had a role to play, their diverse backgrounds and abilities, complementing one another. The turning tide. As the final test concluded, a demanding trial that required them to reverse a simulated black hole's collapse, the harbinger conceded defeat. "You are unique among those who have guarded these secrets," it declared, a note of respect in its multitudinous voice. "Perhaps there is hope yet for this cycle." The figure then faded away as mysteriously as it had appeared, leaving behind only a lingering chill and a sense of immense relief among the group. The aftermath. In the aftermath, the coalition's bonds were stronger than ever. In the wake of their encounter with the harbinger, the coalition delved deeper into the cryptic warnings and historical cycles discussed by the entity. Their research uncovered ancient galactic cycles of knowledge and power, Epics where civilizations rose to cosmic dominance only to fall into oblivion, often hastened by misuse of profound knowledge. Jack and his comrades realized they were not merely students or defenders. They were part of a cosmic continuum, guardians against the cyclical chaos that threatened the fabric of the universe. This realization expanded their mission from protecting the book to ensuring such cycles would not repeat under their watch. Legacy of the Guardians. With the decision to broaden their scope, the Coalition established a formal Guardian Council within the Academy. They developed a curriculum that combined rigorous scientific training with ethical education, designed to prepare future generations for the responsibilities they might inherit. Jack, Scylla, Traz, Kren, and Flix became the Council's founding members, their diverse perspectives shaping the new program. Their initiative quickly gained support across the Academy, drawing interest from many who wished to contribute to safeguarding the galactic heritage. The Council also created a secure network, connecting with other institutions across the galaxy, sharing their findings, and collaborating on security measures against potential threats. A new dawn. One morning, as the first light of Krylor's twin suns filtered through the Academy's glass dome, the Guardian Council convened to celebrate the inauguration of their new headquarters within the Academy. The facility was equipped with the latest technology, dedicated to the research and protection of cosmic knowledge. During the inauguration, Jack stood before a gathering of students, faculty, and several dignitaries from various planets, feeling a mixture of pride and responsibility. "Today marks a new beginning," he announced. "A step towards a future where the guardianship of knowledge is not just our duty, but our honor." A lasting peace. As the ceremony concluded, the members of the council joined hands, their unity symbolizing the strength of their commitment. The diverse group stood together, each member reflecting on the journey that had brought them here and the future they were building. The peace and security they had achieved, however, were always underpinned by vigilance. They understood that the cosmos was ever-changing, filled with unknowns and variables that could one day challenge the stability they sought to maintain. But for now, they had established a strong foundation, a beacon of hope and resilience for the galaxy. Echoes of the future. As Jack walked back to his quarters that evening, the Academy's corridors humming softly with the energy of excited discussions and new ideas, he reflected on the path ahead. The challenges they had faced had prepared them well, but the true test would be in sustaining the legacy they had begun. Looking out at the stars, Jack felt a deep connection to the endless expanse. It was a reminder of the infinite possibilities and the enduring responsibilities that came with the guardianship of knowledge. With a sense of contentment, he realized that while their story might be one small thread in the vast tapestry of the universe, it was woven with hope and determination. The Guardian Council would continue to protect, to learn, and to guide, ensuring that the light of knowledge, like the stars above, would never be extinguished.